Assalamu alaikum, and we are live back with Shifam online. Um, it has been such an interesting break from the last time jab hum mile hain because um, recently there has been a huge spike in cases. I guess where the cases dropped and where the numbers were dropping, a lot of us have taken the relaxation zone and हमने अपने लिए प्रोटेक्शन बाकियों के लिए प्रोटेक्शन कम कर दी खत्म कर दी so now we are in the second phase a second wave of COVID-19 हॉस्पिटल्स में दोबारा बहुत सारी क्वेरीज आ रही हैं all sorts of ages are contracting the disease there are so many questions once again so today, we thought it befitting कि हम दोबारा बात करें about um, how we can survive COVID from a pediatric spotlight. And for our digital healthcare platform, which is Shifam, जो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं to make healthcare accessible आपके लिए, आपकी बेहतरी के लिए, ताकि you can access healthcare from anywhere you are. And uske liye it's shifam.com, or you can even reach us out on 021 371 332273. Promoting a healthier Pakistan, promoting a healthier Sindh, promoting a healthier Karachi, where we are talking from. And aaj hamare saath hai a very, very accomplished child specialist. And her name is Dr. Anokhi Khanam. She is the founder of Apple Tree Pediatrics, and it is located in Karachi. She is an MD, a PhD, and her list of accomplishments is just so much that I just can't even start talking about them. But she has over a decade of clinical pediatric experience. And what sets specialists like Dr. Khanam apart is not just the academia and the clinical expertise, but all the humanitarian work that is going into, her decade-long practice, decades of practice also. Today, we are talking to her about COVID, surviving COVID in the pediatric spotlight. मैं आपको बताती चलूं कि from January 3rd, 2020 to November 6th, 2020, we have had over 338,000 cases of COVID with almost 7,000, exact number 6,893 deaths. And the worst time for the first wave was between May 30th and June 30th, जहाँ पे in the last 24 hours we have had about 1,300 cases. So let's take Dr. Anokhi with us on stream and talk to her about this. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Anokhi.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak to you and giving us your precious time. I'm really, really grateful. Dr. Anokhi, आज हम बात कर रहे हैं about surviving COVID for children. Initially when COVID-19 and all the early documentation started coming out, so there was a focus on adult healthcare, but there was this disillusion like put aside for child healthcare or pediatric healthcare, which said that children cannot contract it. One of the myth busters.
Okay. So I don't think they ever said children cannot contract it. What's consistently been said is that we don't know. From the pediatrics point of view, we don't know. There's just not enough evidence. Right. Children have been less susceptible, so there have been fewer cases of children. In Pakistan, unfortunately, I've not been able to get the exact number of children, who have contracted COVID. But it is in keeping with what international literature has been showing, which basically is majority are mild to moderate symptoms, and we still don't know how many percent of the children are asymptomatic carriers. I have spoken to my pediatric colleagues in some of the larger hospitals in Karachi. They have been having, in the previous wave, severe cases. They've even have had an occasional multi system, what you call inflammatory syndrome, which is a rare disorder that's kind of linked to that's got similar symptoms to Kawasaki's disease. So they have had a few cases, but very, very few. So still at the moment, the current literature is still saying, at the moment, our placement has not changed. Children are either asymptomatic carriers, the level of which we don't know because we're not doing AMA screening of children. Okay? Even in Pakistan, it's more the adults who are being screened. And even, as I said, even the children who have are testing positive for COVID, even those in my clinic who have, called in, we do telemedicine in my clinic also, who've already tested positive, their symptoms have also been mild to moderate. They've simply tested because the rest of the family, some adult has basically had symptoms which were more severe, etc. So they tested the whole family and they found that, yes, there have been one or two of their kids who also have it. But again, it's been, even what I have seen, majority have been mild to moderate. And as I said, the literature is still there. In children, we still don't have enough information. And generally in adults also, this is like an extremely new disease. So we are going to see in the years to come, not just the short term, but the long term implications of the COVID-19. Like what exactly this does to your body. Because even with adults who are asymptomatic with mild disease, they has been reported that they are seeing changes in the, for example, lung CTs or lung X-rays. They are seeing changes, even though the symptoms are not very prominent. So as I said, we don't know.
And like you said, that there have been children who have tested positive because in a larger cluster unki families have tested positive, so they're showing no symptoms. But have there been, say on a generic scale, what are the kinds of symptoms if a child is not asymptomatic? What kind of symptoms are the children showing?
Okay. I keep telling my parents, these children are weird. They always have to do something different. They never do anything with any of the diseases. They never do the same thing as adults. So with kids, as I said, fever, yes, but they don't always have to be febrile. Your usual, the cough is more as compared to other diseases, cough is like your common cold. With COVID, the cough is more prominent. You can have a runny nose and a sore throat. The cough is more prominent. But they're seeing kids with stomach aches, with diarrhea. So very generic symptoms. Sorry, very, very general symptoms.
And when we talk about raising awareness on a larger scale, again, जब आपके पास कोई parent body आती है या parents आते हैं और कहते हैं कि भाई हमारा through telemedicine also कि हमारे पूरे खानदान में कोविड है, बच्चों को भी कोविड अभी तक उनको टेस्ट नहीं किया गया है, क्या हम उनको टेस्ट करें या हम उनको isolation करें? So what are the general steps that you raise in terms of raising awareness?
So as an epidemiologist, so I'm an epidemiologist also, I would like to have the kids tested to see, so that we have that data on a whole. So the data in the labs are not just going there and sitting there. These are all reportable diseases, and the government then can actually see what percentage in different populations stratified by age and gender, etc. So technically speaking, yes, if you have someone who's positive, it is recommended that everyone get tested. But then I also understand that you have to remember the price of the COVID test is not affordable to all. Okay? So I don't remember what the latest, because before the...
Are you talking about the pricing?
Yeah. Anyway, so if you are not testing the kids, you still need to isolate. So the WHO guidelines is you need to isolate until for 10 days or until you're 3 days symptom free. Okay. So basically, if 10 days from the presentation of symptoms, or it's a runny nose or a cough or anything, and if you're asymptomatic, then it's about 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, depending on when you came into contact with someone with COVID. But generally speaking, we would like the entire household to test so that we can confirm for the child itself, as I said, for the epidemiology point of view, but for the child themselves also. So we have a confirmation because even your immunoglobulin tests, they do eventually come out negative. So then there's no way of really knowing if we're tracking back, okay, was that COVID or not. But itself, implementation, whether it changes your decision to isolate and whether it changes your treatment, it doesn't. I mean, there's no treatment for COVID, it's just supportive care.
एंड हम बात कर रहे हैं टेस्टिंग की, हम बात कर रहे हैं आइसोलेशन की, हम बात कर रहे हैं क्वारंटीन की, बट व्हेन वी गेट टू द वर्ड प्रिवेंशन, how would you explain that to parents?
Okay, so I cannot stress enough that we do need, as I said, हमें नहीं पता ये बीमारी क्या कर रहा है, ठीक है. Even in adults, asymptomatic जो carriers होती है adults में, या adults में जो बहुत mild symptoms होती है, तो उनमें भी जब उन्होंने chest x-ray ऐसी चीजें की है, उन्होंने देखा है कि changes हो रही है. तो आपको ऐसे नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि अच्छा नहीं फलां को हुआ था, बस उसको थोड़ा सा नजला जुकाम और फिर ठीक था, ठीक है. हमें ये just a little black box, हमें नहीं पता कि current and long term side effects and issues क्या होंगे. तो इसलिए you do not want to get coronavirus, ठीक है. You do not want to contract it. तो इसका मतलब है जो शुरू से जो हम guidelines what you call have been recommending कि please wash your hands, do not touch your face. Now what we're saying is that everyone needs to wear the mask. मगर याद रखना, ये जो मास्क आप पहन रहे हैं, मैं जो मास्क पहन रही हूँ, अगर मैं actual सही वाली N95 नहीं पहन रही हूँ, my mask is not protecting me as much as it's protecting you. So if I see someone who's not wearing a mask, I call them out on it. I don't go near them. In my office, so I'm at two places. As you know, I'm the AD at the IRD also. So over there, we do a lot of research. So over there, you are sent home. If you come in without a mask, you're sent home. Nobody's allowed to sit there without a mask. जब मैं दुकान में जाती हूँ, अगर मैं देखती हूँ कि लोग मास्क नहीं पहने, I don't enter. I don't use lifts. I use the stairs, and I call people out on it. अगर हम छोटी जगह में खड़े हैं for some reason, ठीक है, and where we don't have a choice, I tell them you need to wear a mask. Again, it's about saving the people around you. ठीक है. मेरे घर में I have a 80+-year-old father. He's 88 years old. ठीक है. मैं इसके पास, क्योंकि मैं डॉक्टर हूँ, मैं सारी प्रिकॉशंस ले रही हूँ, क्लिनिक में सारी प्रिकॉशंस ले रहे हैं, one patient at a time only, we're doing the N95, sterilizing everything, open space, wind, etc. मगर फिर भी I do not go near my dad. ठीक है. क्योंकि ये this is a highly contagious disease. ठीक है. I don't know how I will react to it, मगर हमें पता है risk of severe disease and death in those over 60 is very high, and he's 88. So prevention. आज या मेरे ख्याल से कल the government of Sindh has sent out a notice कि it's compulsory to wear masks in open spaces or you will be fined. People are taking this way too lightly. लोग बहुत चिल्ड हो रहे हैं, और क्यों हो रहे हैं? क्योंकि जब आपने खुद ही नहीं देखा तो सोच रहे कि कुछ नहीं है.
बिल्कुल.
मुझे लोग ने बताया, I've seen people and I'm just like, can you please put on your mask? ठीक है, we're having a conversation, they come to have a discussion with me. I was like, can you please put on your mask, otherwise you need to leave. I was like, you cannot come near me without a mask. Oh, बोल रहे hi, नहीं, everyone's like, nobody's really doing this, everyone's taking it lightly, it's okay. Yeah, they say मुझे तो हो गया, मेरा तो COVID हो गई. Again, there I have to repeat, we don't know whether reinfection is possible. Your coronavirus, also not the COVID-19, your coronavirus, some of the other serotypes, you can have reinfection. ठीक है. COVID-19 में हम नहीं पता, ठीक है, हमें नहीं पता. We're still seeing that. There have been a few cases कि reinfection. तो इसका मतलब नहीं है कि मुझे तो हो गया था, very mild symptoms, I'm fine, I'm immune, तो मुझे मास्क पहनने की जरूरत नहीं है. You still need to wear a mask. You still need to clean your hands, sanitize your hands. Don't touch your face.
Also, Dr. Anoki, ये एक और misconception रही है कि in large open spaces या in malls, क्योंकि we will touch upon the school and the workplace for children, but before we get to the schools and the workplace environment, I want you to sort of talk about how important it is to make your child wear a mask. अपने बच्चों को भी मास्क पहनाएं.
Okay, first of all, I don't want small children going to big outside spaces. छोटे बच्चे को बाहर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है. ये malls में या play spaces etc. पार्क में जा सकते हैं अगर ज्यादा लोग नहीं हैं, ठीक है, मगर malls में नहीं. मैंने खुद ही देखा ये बड़ी malls, I'm not going to name them, बाहर बहुत अच्छी तरीके से टेम्परेचर मेजर, सब लोग को कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं, मास्क पहन रहे हैं. अंदर जाओ, एवरी सेकंड थर्ड पर्सन ने मास्क उतार दी, सिक्योरिटी वहां पर बैठा है, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है. And I'm saying तो malls में भी जब भी मुझे कोई, if I absolutely need to get something, I go at that time where there's hardly anyone, grab my stuff and get out, ठीक है. Do not do any unnecessary shopping. Do not, and avoid taking your children to these places. मैं देख रही हूँ कि सब लोग अपने बच्चे छोटे मेरे babies को, children under 1 year, we're not sure what's happening with them, and they're already a vulnerable population, so we're not sure what's happening with them. So you shouldn't be taking these kids to the space. Children under 2 years should not be wearing masks because of risk of suffocation and sudden infant death. So under 2 years, you do not wear mask. Above 2 years, it depends on the child's cooperation. ठीक है, अगर बच्चा तरीके से कोऑपरेट कर रहा है और मास्क को नहीं छू रहा है, that's fine. ठीक है, अगर बच्चा कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहा है और हर वक्त खींच रहा है और मास्क के सामने वैसे हाथ रख रहा है, so sometimes it's counterproductive क्योंकि it's not preventing and your child is constantly touching the face. ठीक है. In older children, those sort of above 10, then yes, absolutely, they should be wearing a mask because they're old enough to understand this when they are in the house.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say कि mask, so mask hygiene is really important. आपको याद रखना है कि ये जो सामनी जगह है ना मास्क की, ये कंटामिनेटेड होती है, ठीक है. और जो पहली जो चीज है, मास्क जो पहनना चाहिए, इट शुड बी ओवर द नोज एंड अंडर द चिन, ठीक है. ये जो लोग ऐसी छोटी मास्क पहन रहे हैं ना, दैट्स पॉइंटलेस. लोग जो मास्क नीचे पहन रहे हैं, दैट्स पॉइंटलेस. लोग जो यहाँ पर पहन रहे हैं, दैट्स पॉइंटलेस, ठीक है. इसको सही से कवर चेक करनी चाहिए. इट नीड्स टू बी फिटेड ऑन योर फेस नाइसली, ठीक है. और आपको वॉश्ड हैंड्स, सैनिटाइज माय हैंड्स सो आई कैन टच माय फेस. और ये जो आगे वाला जगह है कंटामिनेटेड होती है, तो जब भी मैंने पेशेंट्स भी देखे, माँ बाप भी देख रहे हैं, मेरे साथ बात कर रहे हैं, मास्क के थ्रू ये ऐसे करे या मुंह में ऐसे इच करे, मैं फौरन बोलती थी सैनिटाइज योर हैंड्स राइट नाउ, बिकॉज जब आप सांस ले रहे हैं तो सारे जो जरासीम चिपरे आपकी मास्क के सामने में, ठीक है. तो ऑल द जर्म्स एट द फ्रंट ऑफ योर मास्क. और जब आप मास्क उतारें तो आपको मास्क, यू टेक इट ऑफ विद द ईयरलोब, ठीक है, एंड देन यू डोंट टच द फ्रंट. और ये जो कपड़े वाले मास्क होते हैं उनको डेली वॉश करने चाहिए.
And that brings us to different types of masks कि हम बच्चों के लिए कौन कौन से मास्क इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, and what is the level of safety with those masks?
So as I said, जो छोटे बच्चे हैं, especially those under 10, I don't reinforce it. As like अगर वो पहन रहे हैं और खुशी से पहन रहे हैं, and it's not, and under supervision, बच्चे को थोड़ी अकेले छोड़ते हैं मास्क के साथ. बच्चे को, जो छोटे बच्चे हैं ना, do not leave them alone with the mask, ठीक है. Only reason time they're wearing mask is when they're coming with you somewhere. So वही तो बोल रही हूँ कि अगर आप बच्चे को दुकानों में नहीं ले जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, ये unnecessary जगह में नहीं ले जा रहे, then you don't need to enforce the mask, ठीक है. जब क्लिनिक में आते हैं, the children are sitting there with the parents, ठीक है. I'm okay with the small ones if they're not wearing the mask, क्योंकि मैं I wear my glasses or my visor and N95 surgical etc. We're doing all the necessary precautions. But your child should not be alone with a face mask, जो छोटे बच्चे हैं, ठीक है. And it's the same thing as adults, fitted mask होने चाहिए, ठीक है. They need to fit your face nicely, मगर बहुत tight नहीं होने चाहिए. So you need to see what is available for children.
Dr. Anoki, हमने काफी बातें करी about the proper care and the steps to take. But one of the very important जो सवाल मेरे which I wanted to discuss with you is the impact of the virus in children, right? Who have comorbid medical conditions या उनके immune systems compromised हैं या उनके कोई और underlying health
So
conditions
they
हैं.
are at risk. They're at risk for any age group. जो बच्चे, तो अगर आपके बच्चे में कोई घर में कोई बच्चा है जो कोमॉर्बिडिटी हो, they have a comorbidity, they are at increased risk of severe disease. So anytime you have any outbreak happening, your population who has a comorbidity, and especially in children have very different comorbidities than adults. So they are usually always at increased risk than your general population. So even in children, like with the adults, जो हम बोल रहे थे ना कि adults में जो older population or at-risk population, same thing in children. The at-risk population are at risk of what you call severe disease.
Coming towards testing, Dr. Anoki, हमने सुना है कि how difficult it is for children to be tested, the PCR testing. And you've already highlighted about what you feel about testing, कि आप मतलब कि आप फिर isolate करें, I mean, and you feel that families should get tested,
Yeah.
right?
But I'm not reinforcing the children. I'm not forcing them to do it. Because वही चीज़ है ना, मुश्किल होती है बच्चों में, और अगर बच्चे की कोई symptoms नहीं हो रही है, सिर्फ mild symptoms, तो you're not going to do anything different. What is this test? So, जब भी आप टेस्ट करते हैं, आपको पहली बात सोचनी चाहिए कि मैं इसके टेस्ट के साथ क्या कर रहे हैं. So you never do unnecessary tests. हाँ, epidemiological point of view, public health point of view, it will be interesting. It gives us what you call allows us to see कि pediatric population में क्या हो रहा है. But I'm not forcing my parents to do it, ठीक है? Because बच्चों में ज़्यादातर mild से moderate symptoms होती हैं, and most of them stay at home. And after the quarantine, it's a normal supportive care. Treatment is normal supportive care, just like you have a cold.
Now, when we are talking about, हमने बात करी कि अगर कोई बच्चा है जो कोविड पॉजिटिव है एंड दे हैव वेरी मिनिमल सिम्टम्स, या तो एसिम्टोमेटिक हैं या बहुत मिनिमल सिम्टम्स हैं, व्हाट आर द बेस्ट पोस्ट टेस्टेड पॉजिटिव केयर जो माँ बाप घर में अपने बच्चों के लिए कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, तो ये this is the same thing for every viral illness, whether it's a common cold, your flu, or it's COVID. ठीक है? It's pretty much the same across. First of all, COVID में, unlike the common cold and what you call the flu, अगर आपके बच्चे को if they tested positive or they have symptoms and you are negative, you need to wear a mask. बच्चे को भी जब आप ट्रीट कर रहे हैं, कोशिश करें कि बच्चा मास्क पहने, आप पहने. जब छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, they may not be wanting to wear it when they're not well, which is fine. ठीक है? मगर आपको मास्क पहनने, क्योंकि छोटे बच्चे, अनलाइक एडल्ट्स आई कैन सेल्फ क्वारंटीन. मैं अपने आप को सेल्फ क्वारंटीन कर सकती हूँ घर में. लोग मेरे कमरे के बाहर खाना छोड़ देंगे, मैं ले लूंगी, नोबडी नीड्स टू कम इन कांटेक्ट विद मी. ठीक है? मगर यू कांट डू दैट विद चिल्ड्रन. ठीक है? तो यू हैव एन एडल्ट, so it should be one adult who's actually looking after the child. They need to be quarantined. ठीक है? The child, especially if they're the only one who's positive. And then it's supportive care. Supportive care का मतलब है, आपको पहली बात आपको देखना है कि बच्चे अच्छे तरीके से पी रहा है. ठीक है? हाइड्रेशन इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. जो भी बीमारी है, हाइड्रेशन इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है? अगर इतना ज्यादा नहीं खा रहा है तो कोई बात नहीं, मगर अगर आप खाना खिला रहे हैं तो हेल्दी खाना. ठीक है? नो जंक फूड, नो सिटिंग देयर स्ट्रेसिंग के जो भी अच्छा ये नहीं खा रहा है तो मैं आइसक्रीम दे दूंगी या पता नहीं चिप्स दे दूंगी तो कुछ खाएं. नो, यू नीड टू कीप इट हेल्दी. ठीक है? Then you have your what you call home remedies. बच्चों में कभी खांसी के सिरप मत देना. ठीक है? खांसी का सिरप बच्चों में कुछ नहीं करता, और चंद खांसी के सिरप can actually stop your child from breathing. Certain cough syrups can stop your child from breathing. So under 6 years of age, American Academy of Pediatrics does not recommend over-the-counter cough syrups at all anymore. ठीक है? So we do not give cough syrups at all. ठीक है? So what you do is, what has been shown to be helpful, saline nose spray. तो वो नाक की जो नमक पानी होती है, ठीक है, you spray your nose. If it's a small child, you can do it every 2 to 3 hours and suction it out. If it's an older child, every time they feel there's something there, they need to spray and blow. Spray and blow, ठीक है. जब आप नाक को अच्छी तरीके से साफ रखें, it reduces discomfort and also reduces cough, because some of the cough is the nose irritation that's dribbling at the back. So it helps with that. So its research has shown it helps slightly with that. So one of the things that we highly recommend is basically a saline nose spray and cleaning the nose. Always spray first and then clean. And another thing is, जो बच्चे 1 साल के ऊपर होते हैं उनको शहद दे सकते हैं रात सोने से पहले, ठीक है. After their food, you give a spoon of honey and then you brush your teeth and they go to bed. That helps relieve the cough a little bit, ठीक है. 1 साल की कम उम्र के बच्चे को कभी शहद नहीं दे सकते हैं, because it has a bacteria called Clostridium botulinum that can cause, where the under ones do not, that have that much resistance, have that much immunity to fight against it, and it can cause progressive paralysis and death. So 1 साल की कम उम्र के बच्चे शहद नहीं देते, कभी नहीं देते. Children over 1 year, we actually give it for a cough. And then you have your other treatments, which is your honey, which your lemon ginger tea helps soothe the throat. You got your lemon, which has vitamin C in it. And then you have your haldi doodh, our local treatment. वो भी मैं recommend करती हूँ.
Dr. Anoki, these are some really, really important tips and guidances that you have given. But one more thing that I wanted you to highlight was पेरेंट्स किस तरह डायग्नोस कर सकते हैं या अपने कैन फाइंड आउट इफ देयर चाइल्ड हैज or is suffering from a nasal drip?
Okay, so that's not very simple. I mean, usually I don't bother with that at all. I don't bother with that at all. I'm just, it's every time your child has a snuffy nose, every time your child has a cough, you just clean it. Saline nose spray, suction it or blow it and clean it. Simple. If the nasal congestion is lasting more than 10 days, then it requires review. Okay? That's your cutoff. So usually most viral illnesses causing nasal symptoms resolve within 10 days. So अगर उससे ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं, तो then you need to review and see अगर कुछ और हो रहा है. ठीक है? But usually I tell my parents, I was like, don't rack your brains about it. I said with kids you have overlapping symptoms. It's not always very clear cut कि क्या चीज़ हो रही है. ठीक है? Sometimes it is. Like influenza, you have high fever, you have diarrhea, you have vomiting, and some what you call upper respiratory symptoms. Okay? And children are usually very sick when they have the influenza. And the common cold is more mild, where you have runny nose, fever, sore throat, and a cough.
Now,
so I think they have a lot of overlapping symptoms. Yeah.
Before we start talking about COVID and influenza and our common cold similarities, I just wanted to discuss and guide parents जो इस वक्त सुन रहे हैं और बाद में हमें शिफाम प्लेटफॉर्म पे सुन रहे होंगे, पेरेंट्स को आगाही देना कि what is a virus and what is a bacteria and how to sort of differentiate between the two.
All right. That's not your job, that's your doctor's job. ठीक है? पहली चीज है कि हम we've been like doing this for 20 years. ठीक है? I've been doing this for 20 years. We've trained in this. Again, surgery थोड़ी सी आसान. I'm not surgeons are going to like chop my head off. Surgery में जाकर बोलते हैं appendicitis, हाँ देख ली. Even there sometimes it's not very clear. निकाल दी, काम खत्म. ठीक है? So medicine is not as straightforward. Okay? So that's why you need a physician. Okay? Antibiotics do not work with viruses. Okay? And it will be surprising for many parents to learn that even in bacterial infections, you don't need to treat them with antibiotics every time. Some of them self-resolve on their own. When it comes to your upper respiratory infections, your coughs and colds, one thing to remember is that the more mucous membranes involved. So I get a little bit more concerned if a child has a cough and absolutely no other symptoms. Okay? No runny nose, no sore throat, nothing. Okay? That's a little bit more concerning to me. And they don't tend to look that bad. They just have like a really bad cough. The kids who don't look so good because they have they're energetic, they're active, but they have the snotty nose, throat is a little bit hurting, so they don't want to eat, so they're only drinking, the ears aching, having a cough. So the more mucous membranes involved, the more likely to be viral. And they're very different. Viruses and bacteria are very different. It's like saying, it's like you're trying to compare a cat with a fish. You can't compare them. Okay? They don't even belong to the, they're not even, one is a mammal and one is a fish. Okay? So it's completely different. So you cannot compare viruses and bacteria. And just because your child has fever doesn't mean it's bacterial. Okay? There are red flags that we usually recommend to look out for. So with fever, for example, fever does nothing to your child. That's the first thing parents need to understand. Fever itself does zero to your child. Okay? You do not even need to treat it. You do not need to give any paracetamol. You do not need to give any ibuprofen. You do not need to do anything. It will do nothing to your child. Okay? But saying that, I'm not saying to ignore the fever. Fever is an indication कि कुछ हो रहा है. There is an infection in your body. So we need to decide where is that infection and does it need treatment. Okay? So treatment means antibiotics, yes or no. Viruses cause fever, can cause very high fever, and so can bacteria. Okay? So your first warning sign of fever is children under 3 months. Okay? Children under 3 months are in a category of their own. So fever in a child under 3 months goes straight to the emergency room. Okay? Does not go to any private clinic, goes straight to the emergency room. Okay? It's a separate category of its own. I'm talking about older kids. So children over 3 months, especially those over 6 months, if you have fever, the first thing you want to ask is where's the fever coming from? If your child has no other symptoms, no runny nose, no cough, no diarrhea, no vomiting, that's your first warning sign. कि मेरे बच्चा को बुखार हो रहा है मगर मुझे नहीं पता जरासीम कहाँ पर बैठा हुआ है. ठीक है? So depending on the age of your child and how unwell they are, they require review usually within the first 24 to 48 hours. Okay? We need to see and examine, can we find a source of the infection. Okay? Second thing is जो मैंने बोला था कि children with fever do not require any treatment. If your child is having fever, fever can make your child feel a little bit sussed and lethargic and everything. If they're having fever or they're very miserable, okay, yes, I'm not banning you from treating it. Keep your anti-fever medications for that time. Give them an anti-fever medication, whether it's paracetamol or Brufen. Take their clothes off. You don't need to do cold showers. You don't need to go cold compressors. They don't drop the temperature any faster. You just take their clothes off. Give them some anti-fever medication. Temperature comes down, the child perks up, is up and about, we're good. If the temperatures come down and the child is still very lethargic, that's your second warning sign requiring urgent review. Okay? Third warning sign is fever with a non-blanching rash. Now, I usually find it difficult in Pakistan to explain the non-blanching rash because there's no education about that here. So I simply sent to my parents. I was like, if a child's having a fever with a rash, I need to see them urgently. Okay? Fourth is fever of 5 days. All right? You have good symptoms, child is doing really well, but death fever is still there at 5 days, requires review on day 5. Okay? So these are the things with fever that you need to remember. Then you have your red flags with, as I said, runny nose is basically more than 10 days. With cough, again, cough can take 2 to 4 weeks to completely recover. Okay? If your child, so children breathe faster than us, especially the younger ones. Okay? The babies breathe much faster than us. But if you start noticing that my baby or my child is breathing much faster than normal, that requires urgent review. If you see sucking in between the ribs, so between the ribs, you'll see the, what you call the space going in, or you see the nasal flaring, the nose is flaring up. These require urgent review. Okay? Or your child, especially the younger ones, are not drinking at all. These require urgent reviews. Okay? At any point in time, if you are concerned and you are not sure, take your child to the doctor. Do not hesitate. Do not sit at home. Do not faff here and there. Okay, I'm not sure what to do. Take them to the doctor. Get yourself reassured. Okay? Even with my patients, I say, even if you're not seeing any red flags, but you are instinctively feeling that something is happening, bring them in. We'll review. Either sometimes we do find something, or it just reassures the parents. We got your vomiting and your diarrhea. Okay? Vomiting more than 2 days requires review. Diarrhea can go up to 7 days. You have viral diarrhea can go up to 7 days. Now, the key point for vomiting and diarrhea, and all of these like nazla, zukam, khasi, ulti, motion, means something's inside needs to come out, so you let it come out. Okay? We don't give anti-vomiting medication straight away. Okay? The child has to earn it, which basically means they're vomiting more than they're able to drink. Okay, if that happens, then we give an anti-vomiting to stop it, so that the child can rehydrate. You never give anti-diarrheal medications to children, ever. Okay. Also, we don't jump in straight away with antibiotics. Now, I am talking about those children that I traditionally treat in my clinic. Okay? So these will not be the children from the slums or from the what you call rural areas, etc. That is slightly different. Those kids are severely malnourished, etc. So we approach it a little bit more aggressively and differently. Okay? So when I talk about diarrhea, I'm talking more about the what you call
City dwellers.
city dwellers, non-slum, the ones who
Yeah.
are nutritious, have well nourished, good hygiene, and have their immunizations up to date. Warning signs for diarrhea and vomiting, as I said, if the more is coming out than it's going in, ORS is your best friend. Okay? You have different versions, different brand names. It is the same thing. Okay? I'm not going to say them here, but you've got different brand names. It's the same thing. Parents are still surprised. I remember when I was a kid, the PTV used to do ORS ki ads all the time about diarrhea, ORS or diarrhea, chamach ke saath. I remember those, and I don't know whether they're still the TV program. I don't watch that much TV, so I don't know whether TV programs is still, the government is still doing that. I'm sure they are. Um, but which surprises me, that despite having this, like, so many campaigns, everybody should know, okay, when your child is vomiting diarrhea, you start ORS. You don't need to wait for me to say it. You start ORS. If your child has just vomited, you wait about what you call 20-30 minutes to let the stomach settle. Then give what you call chamach wise. Okay? And in your head, you need to target, okay, my child, I want to get as much fluid into them as possible, so I do not have to go to hospital. If you put it in your head, okay, I'm panicking, my child's not drinking, I don't know how to do this, I just want an IV line, you go to hospital, they'll give you IV fluids. Just remember, IV fluids is introducing what you call liquids directly into your child's blood, which is not risk free. Okay? There's always a risk, even there's always a risk depending on how they've done it, of infection. Okay, and you're introducing something directly into your blood. It is bypassing all the filtration system. It is bypassing your stomach, your intestines, etc. These are organs which have natural immune mechanisms. So your stomach has acidity to actually kill germs. So we got the entire immune system, you got the entire filtration system, you're bypassing, going straight in the vein. Now, saying that, if your child is dehydrated and requires IV fluids, then yes, definitely. Okay? But your target in your head needs to be, okay, I don't want to end up in hospital. So as soon as they start with diarrhea, vomiting, I need to start hydrating. Okay? Symptoms of dehydration is basically the child becomes more lethargic, what you call a little more inactive. As I said, more is coming out than going in. The tongue dries up. Then those kids really do need to go in for review. But in most instances, I've had parents who are on top of their game. They call me after 3 days. They're like, yeah, my child was vomiting for a day and a half and had so much diarrhea, but I pumped them with ORS. I'm just calling to check, doing a telemedicine care. Do I need to do anything else? Have I missed out on anything? They're much better today. And I'm like, no, I'm like, you've done a great job. Mother's completely chill. She's like, no symptoms of dehydration. I was able to hydrate the child really well. And then I have, on the other hand, other mothers where the child had one vomit and one diarrhea, and they run into the clinic because they don't know what to do, which is okay. It is okay. If you're not sure what to do, come in. Come in 10 times, come in 100 times. It's okay. I'll explain it to you all over again. Okay? The reason that also happens, क्योंकि यहाँ पर कल्चर होती है ना कि फॉरन जब बीमार होते हैं एंटीबायोटिक, फॉरन बीमार एंटीबायोटिक, ठीक है, और पेरेंट्स भी डिमांड करते हैं, ठीक है, कि बच्चे को बस फॉरन ठीक करें, एंटीबायोटिक कब दे रहे हैं, बच्चे को बस फॉरन ठीक करें, एंटीबायोटिक कब दे रहे हैं. In certain instances, in gastroenteritis, if you give antibiotics, it can actually cause paralytic ileus, which basically means part of your intestines can paralyze if you incorrectly treat a gastroenteritis with an antibiotic. So that's why you need to be very cautious when giving antibiotics with diarrhea. Okay. Understanding the disease, understanding the red flags, understanding when to react is really important. The only other thing we give in gastroenteritis or vomiting diarrhea is a probiotic. Again, there are multiple brands out there, or you just give yogurt. Yogurt is a probiotic.
And these are all kinds of, what we're talking about, prepping for winters. I mean, prepping for winters all over the country, but especially from the region that we are talking about, from the south in Karachi and Sindh, jahan pe there's a very short stunt of a winter which comes in, and उसके अंदर एकदम से drop होता है of temperature by a couple of degrees, and then there's a rise. मतलब अभी भी we're sort of swinging between 25 and 31 degrees from morning to evening. तो इस वक्त what is the preventive care that parents can take in?
ठीक है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको याद रखना है, ठंडे मौसम बच्चे को बीमार नहीं करता, जरासीम बच्चे को बीमार करता है। ठीक है, ठंडे मौसम बच्चे को बीमार नहीं करता है, जरासीम बच्चे को बीमार करते हैं। और ठंडे मौसम में क्या हो रहा है, ठंडे मौसम में चंद जरासीम ज़्यादा फैलती है। तो viruses spread more in winter months when the weather is cold and dry. Number 1. Number 2, ठंडे मौसम में क्या हो रहा है, हम सब अंदर बैठ रहे हैं, हम सब साथ साथ बैठ रहे हैं, we're huddling up together, we're crowding. ठीक है, there's a lot more contacts, there's a lot more spread. So not only are the viruses happy because this weather is perfect for them, but we're in more contacts, so it's able to do more person to person contact. Again, same thing, hand washing, hand washing, hand washing, hand washing. Keeping your children away from other people if they have a runny nose, a cough, fever. वही तो 20 साल से मैं बोल रही हूँ, और I came back 4.5 years ago, and over here I'm still seeing parents who still send their kids in. They're like, कोई बात नहीं, मैंने पैरासीटामोल दे दी, बच्चा ठीक है, तो मैंने स्कूल भेज दी. I said, when your child is febrile, they're more contagious. And I said, you're not being nice to the other. First of all, your child should be resting, and you're not being nice to the other parents because you're allowing this disease to spread. और फिर वही होता है, जब स्कूल शुरू होता है ना, बच्चे जा रहे हैं, अब तो let's see what happens because everyone's supposed to do social distancing, face masks, etc. So we're not seeing as many cases. But prior to COVID, I mean, every winter you would see, and even throughout the year, usually with the children under 6, they tend to have more viral illnesses, which is completely normal. They have 6 to 8 viral illnesses episodes per year, specifically in the winter months. और वही होता है ना कि वो स्कूल जा रहे हैं, जब स्कूल जा रहे बीमार हो रहे, जब घर पर रह रहे बीमार नहीं हो रहे. ठीक है, so you just keep having these waves, and you can see sometimes you'll have pockets of waves in this school, in this preschool, and then suddenly you'll have kids coming from that preschool end. So you can literally see how the wave spreads. It's because parents are not keeping their kids at home. So keep your kids at home, hand hygiene, hydration, proper nutrition, proper sleep habits. लोग हैरान हो जाते हैं जब मैं बोलती हूँ, मैं पूछती हूँ, जब लोग आते हैं, मैं पूछती हूँ, अच्छा आपका बच्चा कौन से वक्त पे सोता है? 1 बजे सुबह. And I literally fall off my chair. I'm just like, what do you mean 1 o'clock in the morning? Koi baat nahi, no, I can't make them sleep earlier. The rest of the house is awake. How do you expect us to do this? I said, I'm not doing it to be cruel. You have such a thing known as your biological clock, your circadian rhythm. More and more research is coming in about that, which basically shows your biological clock is set by the sun. So your child should be in bed by 7:30, where the sleep hormone starts being secreted. It peaks around midnight, comes down in the morning around 8 o'clock. You have your cortisol hormone secreting, which is your wake hormone. So that's why you sometimes wonder why I automatically wake at a certain time. It's because the cortisol spike ho rahi hai. And during this nighttime sleep, your child, the growth hormone is being released, brain development is happening, and kind of a bit of resetting of the immune system is happening. Whatever's happening at night, you cannot make up for it through daytime naps. Or abhi tak, a lot of parents do not understand. So if your child is not sleeping well, if your child is not having a healthy diet, if your child is not having enough exercise, which is like 60 minutes of exercise, does not need to be in one go, okay? Getting enough fresh air, being out in the sun, etc., then you shouldn't be surprised कि मेरा बच्चा हर वक्त बीमार क्यों होता है. And then फिर parents आते हैं कि multivitamin दे देना. I was like, you can take a multivitamin, that's fine. I usually say just pick one and that's it. Don't take 10 different ones क्योंकि फिर toxicity हो जाती है. But now as pediatricians, from all sides, American Academy of Pediatrics, Canada, the UK, etc., we no longer recommend giving unnecessary multivitamins. Okay? Again, we don't ban them. We're like, you want to give one, give one. But the reason why we say that is because we want parents to focus on nutrition, balanced diet. और जो 6 साल के कम उम्र के बच्चे होते हैं, you have fussy eaters. They're actually brave eaters. They're not fussy eaters. They're brave eaters because they're getting all these new things to eat. Some days they like something, some days they don't. Your job is to repeat Your job is to keep at it. And they will get there. And everything you do in the first 5 years of life, everything you do sets your child up for life. So it's really
Absolutely.
important.
And I love the way, Dr. Anuki, you have sort of, brought or driven home the message, how important it is to be aware of medication, be aware of IV treatment, be aware of all these things, be aware of antibiotic treatment, because as you said, कि कोई भी इन्फेक्शन हो वो आपके बच्चे के बॉडी में से निकल ही जाएगा अमूमन फ्रॉम from whatever area it's exiting, but it will come out and your child will feel better. And if not, then there are red flags.
Yeah. So just to reinforce, I'm not saying don't give antibiotics. I'm saying give them and use them sensibly. When they are indicated, they are life-saving. Okay? Now, just to highlight one thing, last year, if you remember, I think everyone has been like 2020 has been so traumatic. Everything before then is like completely disappeared from our minds. But if you remember last year, Karachi and Sindh was having a drug-resistant typhoid outbreak. आपको याद है?
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
That is
Yeah.
because we were abusing the antibiotics so much. ये हो गया antibiotic, ये हो गया antibiotic. लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. तो Flagyl, I know it's a brand name. I don't try to mention brand names. Nothing against Flagyl. It's an amazing medication. It's mefenamic. It's a metronidazole. It's an antibiotic. Fantastic antibiotic. ठीक है. लोगों को नहीं पता, वो सोचते कि नाम है Flagyl. I keep hearing this. I had to say, because I don't work in brands, I work in generics. And I was like, okay, why is everyone taking? When I first came back, I was like, Flagyl le liya. I was like, okay, let me check my compendium. What is? I was like, what? I was like, खुद ही ले ली. हाँ हाँ, एक दो दिन के लिए और फिर खत्म. Motion खत्म. So people are taking it like toffees every time they get a bad stomach. People are taking it toffees. They have other medications. You got your cephalosporins, your what you call Comoxiclav. Like sweeties, हाँ बीमार हो गए, self-treatment. ये क्या हो रहा है? Now people don't realize कि it's not just you're putting at risk, you're putting your entire household at risk, because they all, for the next 6 months, every time you take antibiotics, your entire household becomes at risk of developing a drug-resistant infection. आप रेजिस्टेंट नहीं बन जाते, आपकी जरासीम जो आपके जिस्म के पास और अंदर है वो ड्रग रेजिस्टेंट बन जाते हैं. और अगर इफ यू आर मिसफॉर्चुनेट टू हैव एन इन्वेसिव बैक्टीरिया, इसका मतलब है अगर आपके पास, हमारे जिस्म में अंदर बाहर अच्छे वाले जरासीम भी होते हैं जो हमें प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, वहां पर बैठते हैं ताकि दूसरे जो खराब वाले नहीं आकर बैठ सकते हैं. ठीक है, जब हम एंटीबायोटिक लेते हैं हम इनको सब मार देते हैं, नंबर 1. एंड नंबर 2, risks having invasive antibiotics, bacteria coming to take their place. ठीक है, और अगर that invasive bacteria starts becoming drug resistant, that's where you're drug resistant typhoid, and then eventually there's no treatment, and we're going to go back 100 years pre-penicillin time, where people are dying of what used to be treatable diseases. And you can see during the COVID-19 scenario क्या होता है अगर हमारे पास ट्रीटमेंट नहीं है. अभी दुनिया में क्या हो रही है. तो ये बात सोचो कि अगर हमारी एंटीबायोटिक्स काम करना बंद करते हैं ना, if they stop working, this is what's going to happen. We are experiencing a pandemic against which we have no treatment. So this is just one disease. Just imagine if antibiotics stop working, one antibiotic can treat a whole lot of range of disease. One bacteria can cause a whole lot of range of diseases. So please use your antibiotics sensibly. And अगर आपके डॉक्टर ने बोला है कि जरूरी नहीं है तो प्लीज उसको जिद नहीं करना कि मुझे लेना है. और just I know I'm just like going on and on, but just to say, so usually antibiotics take about 24 to 48 hours to work. So when I have a patient who comes in, I mean I have friends. My friends know. They know do not mention antibiotics in front of Anoki unless you have a justification of why you took it. Okay? And you need to, if you've taken it without going to the doctor, then do not tell her, because I will bite your head off. Okay? So one of my friends, this is when I first came back, etc. She didn't know me that well then. And she was like, these doctors, they refuse to give me antibiotics. I started it, my cough resolved within hours. And I looked at her and I said, that's not how antibiotics work. I was like, it takes at least 24 to 48 hours. So she said, so it wasn't because of the antibiotics. I was like, no. So she said, I took it for no reason. I was like, yes. And you expose your body and your surroundings to unnecessary side effects, number one, and also increasing the risk of future infections in your community to be drug resistant.
And you're making your immune system weaker. You're not strengthening it. You're just overcoming, or momentarily passing
So,
through it, but you're not doing anything.
so I wouldn't say that. The way it works, the way we are
Okay.
compromising our immune system is that we are removing our good bacteria with whom we are living in with a symbiotic relationship. So, for example, when you have when you're taking a lot of hardcore antibiotics, you have hospital acquired a gastro C. diff, okay, which is a bacterial infection that comes because of using in hospital. These are very sick patients, okay? Because we've had to pump them with so many antibiotics, their entire gut system has been cleaned of good bacteria, and this horrendous bacteria comes and sits there. And then on top of all your other diseases that we're trying to treat, we have to then treat that one also, and we have to stop all the antibiotics to wipe that one out. So it's actually the and people are surprised. I was like, your mouth has bacteria, your stomach, your what you call intestine has bacteria, your skin has bacteria, and this all stops bad bacteria from coming. It's displacement. It won't let a bad bacteria sit there. It's your friend, and you're basically it becomes part of your defense mechanism, and you're destroying that by abusing antibiotic use.
Dr. Anoki, we've talked about a lot of things, and a lot of again, you've raised a lot of awareness. जो पेरेंट्स भी इस वक्त और बाद में भी अगर सुनेंगे तो उनको बहुत मदद मिलेगी, उनकी आंखें खुलेंगी, because we take for granted a lot of things that are accessible to us. When while wrapping up this session, I would like you to mention about two things, which is the flu shot, and you did touch upon the similarity between COVID and influenza. So again, the importance of the flu shot, and if and how parents can get it if they want to get it, and where they can get it from. And right now, parents who are experiencing influenza in the house, how can they sort of differentiate it between from COVID-19, and stay at home and take care of their kids without
So
rushing off to the hospital?
So just remember, if your child needs to go to hospital, if your child is really unwell and needs to go to the emergency room, please take them to the emergency room. Okay? Do not be frightened of it. We have them for a specific reason. Okay? When your child is having, especially the little ones under 2, if they're having what you call a cold, influenza, COVID, they are at risk of developing what's called as viral induced wheeze. We have a large number of those who do have that. And if they're having difficulty in breathing and things like that, and they're really unwell, you do need to take them, depending on the severity, either to your doctor or to take them straight into the emergency room, okay, if you're concerned. And this tends to happen in the middle of the night. Kids get worse. Generally, all illnesses get worse at night. Now, as I had mentioned before, it is difficult to just say, okay, this is this, this is this, and this is this. They are overlapping, okay? As I said, the more mucosal membranes evolve, runny nose, cough, sore throat, etc., all these things, the more likely it is to be a common cold. Okay? If your mucosal involvement is less, but more, the cough is a bit more severe, and influenza, may you have more vomiting and diarrhea also. Okay? And they tend to be, you have mild, moderate symptoms of influenza that you really can't differentiate from the cold. You have more severe cases of influenza. Again, no treatment. Okay? Because I don't think we have the rapid tests here. And then you have your COVID, okay, which again is overlapping. All right. Testing is the only way to differentiate, but as I said, treatment is the same. It's symptomatic care. Warning signs are the same. You keep an eye on the warning signs. If your child requires urgent review, or if your child is doing really unwell, then you need to take them to hospital. But there is no fixed treatment. Okay, you do this, or you do this, or you do this. Like with bacterial infections, if your child has a what you call a urinary tract infection, it's clear. Antibiotics, antibiotics for so many days, ta-da, okay? There's no question about it. But with this, there is no treatment. It's just about symptomatic care, and it's about actually keeping an eye on red flags. And I would say, do not obsess about deciding, okay, is this COVID? Is this influenza? Is this a common cold? Do not rack your brains about that. But the things are the same. If your child is having symptoms, always assume that it could be coronavirus. Okay? Always isolate the household. Always quarantine the child as much as possible. With the older teenagers, parents are very well able to quarantine the kids. The kids quarantine themselves by themselves. With the little ones, the parent needs to do it with them to isolate them from other children. And yeah, take the necessary precaution by wearing your mask. And do not, and generally speaking, I need to reinforce, okay, the government is now going to fine people if you're not wearing masks, but please, I go to the markets and everything and I'm seeing people coming in with children. Fine, if you cannot leave your child at home, but if there are two adults in the car, leave your child, and a trusted adult, leave your child in the car and do your stuff. Okay? Or choose a time where your child can be left at home with a trusted adult and you go do whatever needs to be done. Or आजकल में everything is online. During this pandemic, everything is moved online.
डॉक्टर अनोखी, हमने बहुत सारी बातें करी एंड वी आर सो ग्रेटफुल टू यू फॉर गिविंग योर टाइम. आई नो दैट इट इज नॉट इनफ टाइम टू टैकल all the things. I you know, as a child specialist, there's so many things that you want to shout out and scream out and really really drive that message home. um, and you have talked about masks, you've talked about adults wearing masks, adults shaming adults who are not wearing masks, which is also one of my favorite hobbies currently. uh, इस वक्त पेरेंट्स who are prepping, जिनके बच्चे वापस स्कूल जा रहे हैं, they are managing the bubble school setting, and there are going to be COVID positive cases, there are going to be positive scares. How can the parents, to the best of their abilities, and as a leaving them with this message, uh, be confident in sending their children to school appropriately?
Okay, so first thing to remember, we don't know what's going to happen with coronavirus, so we're going to have to start to learn to live with it. We cannot all sit at home for the rest of our lives. Okay? This also impacts your child's mental health and social well-being. This is why school systems have started again, in order to bring your child into contact with other kids. We're doing the bubble system. More at risk in the system is your teacher and your elder what you call household members. So when your child is going to school, you are going to have to restrict contact with grandparents who are over 50. Okay? And then basically it's the same precautions. As I said, the research, whatever still over the last 8 months that's coming out, it's showing children are having more mild to moderate. They're more the, I would assume they're more the spreaders than actually the ones who are what you call having severe disease. Those who are having severe disease are usually the older population. Even today, it's usually the older population. It's because people are becoming more callous. People are not taking proper precautions. They're coming home. They're like, I'm fine, but they don't think that the elderly parents sitting there will not be fine. So it's about following the recommendations. These are now everyone post-pandemic, all my patients who come to me should know what evidence-based medicine is. Okay, this is what I keep harping about: evidence-based medicine, up-to-date practices, following guidelines based on the latest research, etc. And so evidence has not shown that children are an increased risk. Okay, right now they still have mild to moderate. I repeat it. This is what we're seeing: still mild to moderate symptoms, etc. It's a trade-off. We need to start going back to school. We need to start having social interaction. Children need their mental health and social well-being. I'm seeing kids having symptoms of anxiety, which is not the same as adults. Parents are not figuring out my child is behaving this way. I was like, this is your child having anxiety. Okay, bubble system is really important. And with the little kids, so right now during the second phase, I'd be a little extra cautious with creating a bubble system with your little ones. But otherwise, I have recommended in between to create a bubble system even with your little kids, where you've selected one or two families who you know are very particular, are staying out of contact with everyone else. I have my own bubble, few friends. We are the only one more or less who meet with each other and no one else. And we do our masks and social distancing, etc., so that I get to meet people too. Okay, but we're doing masks and social distancing because even for my mental health, well-being, I need to actually physically see someone. Okay? So as long as you're following the recommendations, as long as you're following the precautions, um, I would say send them to school as long as your school is practicing what they have been recommended to do by the government. Just remember the government is very much on board. They're very much keeping themselves up to date, tracking, seeing what is happening. The Sindh government is doing a phenomenal job. So you can see, I mean, it is amazing. You can see, okay, I mean, you've seen the COVID-19 website of the government of Pakistan, daily being updated, daily showing the number of cases, etc., very nicely being reported, etc. So they are really following the scenario, and Pakistan has been commended for its what you call immediate response, which has allowed us to actually open up so quickly. Unlike other places which delayed response, um, the fact that we shut down everything straight away, intercity travel, everything, in my opinion, I think that contributed to help control the disease during the first wave. And we cannot afford to go into that. You have to remember we're a low middle income country. We have daily wage earners who are not going to be afford to go into lockdown again. The government has said they're not going to go into lockdown again. So in order to stop that from, you know, pushing the government into putting us into lockdown, please everyone practice your social distancing, hand washing, hand sanitizing, and face masks. School systems, please, for your mental health and social well-being and education of the child, yes, as long as your school is practicing the recommended, what was recommended.
All the
Yes,
SOPs, yes.
yeah, all the SOPs. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anokhi. This has been a wonderful, wonderful session, and I hope we can invite you back so that we can have many more sessions of beautiful information being disseminated into not just into for the parent body, but for all members listening to us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
And that was the wonderful Dr. Anokhi Khanum. And itni sari baatein unhone ki, she has spread so much awareness. Please, adults, wear your masks in public. Like she said, children should not be wearing masks unsupervised. School, no, there has to be normalcy coming in somewhere. So yes, if your schools are following SOPs, if they have created those bubbles, please, please, please be a conscientious adult, conscientious individual, so that SOPs can be followed, and we are safe, our children are safe, our elderly are safe. Children do not need to go into public spaces unless and until it is extremely, extremely important. And one of the things that we did talk about is PCR testing for a larger scale, for data collection purposes, for specialists. इतना इम्पोर्टेंट, इतना ज़रूरी है फॉर देम टू नो कि एक फैमिली में कितनी दफ़ा कोविड आया है, एक फैमिली में कितने लोग टेस्टेड पॉजिटिव, हाउ मेनी पीपल टेस्टेड नेगेटिव. एंड फॉर दैट, बिकॉज PCR टेस्टिंग जो है, इट इज़ एन एक्सपेंसिव टेस्ट. However, having said that, Shifam has joined forces with some laboratories, and they are on their platform. Shifam is exclusively promoting PCR tests. So अगर आप walk in करते हैं तो the PCR test is only for rupees 4,500, and if you call for a home collection PCR test, it is for rupees 5,000. PCR tests are being tested at 6,900 and 7,900 per test. So this is a really, really great initiative by Shifam platform, and hopefully you do not have to leave your residence, you do not have to leave your premises, and you can call in Shifam and make that appointment to be tested if need be, if you are experiencing symptoms at home, at workplaces, or at school. So please stay safe, wear your mask, and be a mindful individual. Until we meet each other next time, take care of yourselves, take care of your health, and a very good weekend to you. Khuda Hafiz.